creeping, not just for creepy people anymore. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is the Brewmance on the radio. He's Rob Hunter. I'm Mike Russell. We're having open-minded conversations, drinks, celebrating life by trying new things, listening, and restoring civility one sip at a time. This is Arizona's only beer show, and as usual, we celebrate and revere one beer each and every show. What are we doing today, buddy?
Today, from Dark Sky Brewing, Flagstaff, Arizona, Weedy's Rad Idea. So this is a pumpkin beer. It is the month of November. We spent all of last month on the Brewmance on the radio reviewing Oktoberfest beers. Today, we shift gears to pumpkin beers to get ready for Thanksgiving, which is now less than 3 weeks away.
Yikes.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Crack this bad boy open.
Yeah, crack those open if you could. Do you want me to pour those? Because you're such a connoisseur of the pour.
I am so good at pouring. But let's give a shout-out to Dad Gack, my father-in-law, for picking this up. He was in a recent trip to Flagstaff. He's like, what beer you want? So he grabbed us a Crowler, which is the big 32-ounce can that they can right there in the facility for you. And also a special shout-out to Dark Sky Brewing. The first thing Mike Russell and I ever did as the Brewmance was at their brewery in Flagstaff.
And that's how to pour, by the way. I know you can't see it on the radio. It's the theater of the mind. I'm going to tell you it's about, I'd say, 1.5 inches to 2-inch head there. And it's nice and clear and crisp. And it's not falling over the edge, or it has a 9-inch head on it.
How do you feel? Oh, boy. We went off the rails before we even started sipping the beer.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man, and make room for mine.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about pumpkin everything? Because there's pumpkin everything in America.
I have nothing wrong with pumpkin everything. I think it's a great gourd. We had a wonderful pumpkin. I made a Brewmance pumpkin. I made a Brewmance pumpkin. It actually had a Brewmance pint. It had a Brewmance pint right on the front there.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
I used a little Dremel. I got after this, man. It's my artistic expression I use once a year.
And it's very impressive.
Thanks, buddy.
Because you did one for your Go Show, too. The Go Show, which airs tomorrow.
That's right.
3 to 5 p.m. Also, you can catch it Saturday morning, 6 to 8 on Fox Sports 910, our sister station, as well as on your iHeartRadio app. But if you go check those out on Mike's and our Instagram page, the _Brewmance, you can see his handy artwork. I was like, he did this. So what did you use?
A little Dremel. It's actually not a full-size Dremel. It's a handheld Dremel. It's like a pencil Dremel. It's really nice. It just kind of spins. It just kind of takes everything off there.
How long does it take you to do?
About an hour a pumpkin. It's not that bad. Yeah,
nice calming work.
Yeah, we just put a movie on. The kids are doing their thing, and they're doing their pumpkins, and I'm just sitting there focused, and I've got pumpkin parts all over me, just everywhere, all over my face, the floor, my clothes. Just get them, shake it all off.
I did not cover pumpkin this year, nor did I last year, but the year before I did, and I forgot how much fun it was to actually take the knife out and carve it. It's a good time.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. And I recommend you get back into it, even if your kids are older. You grab them by the ears and say, we're doing pumpkins tonight as a family. We're going to put
I love it.
Nightmare Before Christmas on or something like that. Put a Halloween movie on, and we're just going to sit and enjoy together and just going to carve pumpkins. It's going to be fun.
Dig it. Why not?
That's the way to do it. But we weren't decorating Christmas trees on the same night. Because if you go to any of the retailers and if you go to any of the breweries, it seems that holiday creep is now everywhere, even in our very own craft beer world.
You don't like that?
No, I'm not a fan of that at all.
You like the holidays to be separated because we jam them together. I mean, let's consider Halloween a holiday. So October 31st, then somewhere near the end of November. So there's like less than a month in between those two, and then less than a month later you have Christmas.
Yes, but we might have gotten it wrong the whole time. Because don't they say the holiday season?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe it's just a season. We throw them all into one, and it's a holiday season.
See, and this is the funny thing to me, because I know it's always about money. And holidays are supposed to be about family, but we really know it's about money. And it was called Black Friday because that was the day traditionally that retailers started making profits for the year. It took them all year to build up, and they have these crazy sales to kind of push them out of the red and into the black.
Yes. But
now Black Friday's in like July. Black Friday sale, July 4th. What?
There's 9 of them all by Amazon throughout the year.
I know.
But it's coming to our beer world as well, where they have Christmas beers that were already out in October. I know Jubilee was one of them. The Celebration Ale, Sierra Nevada, I've seen on the tables, on the shelves as well. And it's odd to me. It doesn't feel right to me. Like, I like how we're doing this on the show. We're staying local, and we stuck to Oktoberfest in October, and we're doing pumpkin in November, and we will do Christmas beers in December. Like, we are doing this right.
Yeah. So, but Where's the line then? So should you not drink an Oktoberfest beer before October and a pumpkin beer before or until after Halloween?
I understand because of brewing and distributorships and the cusp. I think there could be a cusp. There could be a 1 week cusp each month. Like, okay, so in September, the end of September, all the Oktoberfest beers are starting to come out. And it makes it a thing. Like, I would like to see the retail stats on this, especially in the craft beer world, that I remember when Four Peaks had their pumpkin ale and pumpkin porter, their pumpkin porter. It was a thing. When it came out, they're tapping it. Woo!
Run down the Tepe!
It was a big, big thing. And now it's just meh because there's already been pumpkin porters out and there's already pumpkin beers out in September and August.
I saw pumpkin Pop-Tarts recently and a pumpkin Rice Krispie treat. And I was like, okay, we've become ridiculous with the pumpkin.
No, I've seen a butcher's department with the meat had a pre-rubbed pumpkin rub on it.
Really?
Yeah, pumpkin spice rub on it. That means we've reached the top.
But
of
it's
that.
also interesting, too, because it's not like just pumpkin. Sometimes it's allspice. It's not always like pumpkin puree that they put in the beer or into recipes. Like, obviously Pop-Tarts is not using real pumpkin. But
you're a Pop-Tart guy, though, so what do you think? Did you try the pumpkin?
No,
Pop-Tart?
I did not.
Why not?
I'm not a huge pumpkin fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I've always kind of ignored the pumpkin push because it's not my favorite thing. Although when we review this beer a little bit later on in the show from Dark Sky Brewing, Weedy's Rad Idea, I'll let you know what I think about it.
Like, I should not be able to go to Costco right now and get their advent calendar, their beer advent calendar. I should not be able to do that
Which
yet.
came out in October. I think middle of October.
It came in the middle of October, right. And I don't want to, what am I going to do with that thing? I'm going to go sit it in the cupboard somewhere and just, why? I shouldn't be able to buy it then, but they're selling them.
And it might not even be available by the time we want to get one come closer to December. It might be gone.
We do have to get up on that.
Well, see, the only way to fight back against it is if we, as the consumers, as the drinkers, Mike, is say no. If we're not buying Christmas lights in October. We're not buying Christmas trees until after Thanksgiving. We're not buying pumpkin beer until November 1st.
But I think there's some retailers that almost stick to that. And I know there's how long a tree will last after it's sold and all that. I get that and understand that. But when Costco's selling trees, they're not doing that until December 1st. They're not same with when Target used to sell them as well. I don't know if they're still doing that. Lowe's, it might be around Thanksgiving time, but that's when we get our tree. We get our tree the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Because you're moving on. You're saying goodbye to one holiday, moving on to the next.
Here's, I think, another issue is, as you get older, it seems like the holidays appear a lot faster. It's like,
don't they?
Holy moly, it's almost Thanksgiving. I'm not even prepared for anything, let alone a tree.
Well, I think it's just because we're getting old, Rob. So when I'm asked, hey, Dad, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, I don't know. When's that? What do you mean, what do I want for my birthday? It's tomorrow, Dad. Oh.
Why are you just asking me now, you little punk? Yeah. Why didn't you ask me last week?
You're supposed to have a better mind than me.
I mean,
yo, man, But I think that's it. We're like, oh, my gosh, it really is November. What's in November? Oh, Thanksgiving. Whoa.
Yeah.
Man. That's why I don't play fantasy football anymore. Because when they started moving, football creep was exactly why. They started moving now instead of we had Monday night. Monday night was the only non-Sunday game. Then it went to Thursday.
Yep.
And then instead of the
occasional
Sunday game,
Saturday in December.
They're playing in London at 6 a.m.
I know.
Forget it.
Well, and we don't know when we have a good thing in America. We have no shutoff switch. We go, ooh, this is work. Oh, this is selling. Ooh, people bought a pumpkin beer on October 28th. Let's try to sell it on October 1st next year.
That's true.
And then someone will eventually sell it on September 15th because someone always wants to beat the other person to the competition to see if it'll work, and we just can't say no.
Yes, but okay, so that would be acceptable marketing to me because if they called it a Halloween beer, then I would think it's weird they sold it any other month.
I think if you and I opened a brewery,
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? I'm sorry?
No, a pumpkin any other month, I would think, okay, so they just keep it because there's people that like pumpkin. Like I like black IPAs year round.
Mm-hmm.
And some, just like our buddy Helton, only makes them seasonally.
I would like, if we open a brewery at some point, I want to have a beer that's seasonal. We'll call First to Market Seasonal IPA or something like that.
Okay.
We're going to put it out there like all the time. We're just First to Market. We just name it literally for what it is. First to Market. The Brewmance's First to Market Pumpkin Spiced Ale. It's out on January 1st for next year.
2021's limited release.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, my gosh.
We are the Brewmance. His name is Mike Russell. My name is Rob Hunter. Friendship, open-minded conversations, drinks, that's how we celebrate life. We're glad that you are celebrating with us. If you want to celebrate, beyond the radio show, we would love that as well. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thebrewmance, Instagram, _Brewmance. In addition to the radio show, we have a podcast for you. We drink a beer, get into shouting matches. Just kidding. But we do disagree quite a bit. Would love it if you checked it out. It's for free on the free iHeartRadio app. Just type in the Brewmance, scroll down till you find it. We'll be there for you as well. In a moment, the big business of beer. So you might not know how much of an economic impact craft beer has in the state of Arizona across the country. We'll fill you in. The Brewmance on the radio continues on 550 KFYI, FM at 95.5 HD2. As craft beer drinkers, we are contributing massively to the local economy. It is the Brewmance on the radio. My name is Rob Hunter.
Hi, Mike Russell.
We get together, we have a beer, and we celebrate life and have interesting conversations. Thank you for being a part of the conversation with us. Before we get to that story about how big of a business craft brewing is, shout out to Cider Corps in Mesa. It's a veteran-owned cidery. So on Monday, they are offering veterans, active duty veterans, retired military, $1 off a pint, flight, or slushie in their tap room. They actually do that year-round.
They have slushies?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had slushies.
I know, that sounds...
See, you're talking about a lot of cool stuff, but you had me at slushies.
Exactly.
Slushies.
We should go try a cider slushie.
I want a cider slushie.
Okay, so I know our buddy Justin from Earn Your Booze, also a veteran.
Yes.
He loves Cider Corps. He's brewed a cider with them. So
very nice.
If you're going to be out and about and you want to go check out Cider Corps, remember they're a veteran-owned business, so that is pretty darn cool. Part of the industry here in the state of Arizona, Mike Russell, that is now worth $1 billion. This is a number from last year. 19th in the country, number of craft breweries, just about 100 across the state. Total economic impact of $1 billion.
You know, I think it's fantastic because it means that the locals are supporting local. I mean, there might have been, I'm sure part of that, a slice of that economic pie is attributed to people visiting during the wintertime and all the great events that we have, like the Phoenix Open and things like that. I think that helps, but the vast majority of that is us showing up for us, and I like that, and I'm impressed by that.
And that's the majority of it. So here's what Tristan White said to Chamber Business News. He is the co-founder and manager of Dragoon Brewing Company down in Tucson. He says there's lots of jobs made from the beer industry. It's a huge, huge job maker. Brewers are manufacturers, retailers, distributors. We have delivery drivers, merchandisers. Think about all the places with the retail beer, whether they're bars, restaurants, hotels. You can see how that adds up. So it's $1 billion worth of that in the state of Arizona, which is cool. So that's just another thing to think about when you're supporting locals. You're like, wow, I'm going to drink this pint of beer. Maybe I'm going to have 2, maybe I'm going to have 3, maybe I'm going to take home a 4-pack or a 6-pack. Someone has a job as a direct result of that.
Right. And I would challenge you to find 10 craft beer people that are really into the craft beer scene. Find 10 of them and not find 8 of those 10 that would say that San Diego is kind of the craft beer mecca, at least in the western United States, right?
That's what we do when we went there a couple of years ago.
Yes.
We crossed the border and we were like, we are here.
We went into Stone Brewing and hugged the stone. We really did. Mm-hmm. And so you have to understand that their craft beer industry is a $1.2 billion industry.
Just in the city.
Just in the city. But that's still, okay, so 1.2 billion, you think San Diego's the mecca. It is what it is, right? But here in the state of Arizona, we're right on the tail of San Diego because we are supporting local. And by the way, I would assume that it's only 1.2 in San Diego because of California taxation.
No kidding.
We can get into that That's a whole different discussion. They are bringing it. And talk about a city that has just owned it. San Diego, I don't know if it is tax incentives, tax breaks, whatever it was, but it seemed pretty darn easy to open a brewery in the city of San Diego, California, because they just wouldn't stop opening up.
And there's 130 of them right now in the city. And you think about it, like you just went recently, and every time you turn around, there's a craft brewery, or there's a tap house, or there's a beer place, a bar that's serving 18 local craft beers.
And there were 2 places that were under construction in Gaslamp just when I was walking through. They were all coming up.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But good for you, Arizona. You're right behind the Mecca, San Diego.
Yes.
Right behind them in economic impact.
Yeah. You know who's a little bit behind the times, though, when it comes to economic impact because of the limits they had on ABV volume in beer?
Gee, that's hard to guess.
Yeah. The state of Utah. Our neighbors to the north. So we got our neighbors to the west. They're
crushing it.
Yeah, crush it, even though it's California, and none of us actually want to go live in California because of the taxes and the prices and all that other stuff. We want to go drink the beer there.
Oh, and it's on fire. Sorry.
That's true. The entire state is on fire.
Quick question. Quick question. Do you notice all the concerts and telethons and fundraisers going on for California right now?
No, missed those.
Remember when Houston was underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember all the concerts, the fundraisers, and all that for that? Remember that? Katrina, you remember all that going on? Yeah, okay.
George Bush doesn't like black people. That's what I remember.
Come on.
Kanye West.
Rob just hijacked my point.
Yep.
I'm telling you that it's just something about California. California's thumbed their noses at the rest of the nation for so long. The rest of the nation goes, you're on your own, California.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun with your 8th largest economy in the world, as you always like to rub in.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But you had so much money that you didn't update your power lines, and your power company kept just robbing people, and they didn't update their equipment, so now the whole place is on fire.
Unbelievable. Great point, Mike. Utah, though, great place to go. I love the state of Utah. I like Park City. I like Salt Lake City. They got some good breweries up there. Squatters is a good brewery. But the problem is, up until just recently, you could not go into a grocery store and buy beer made in a craft brewery unless it was at 3.2% ABV, which...
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, it's basically not a beer.
Right. It's water.
They just changed the law for the first time in 86 years, allowing grocery stores and convenience stores to sell higher alcohol beer. So we're like, all right, way to go.
Yeah, all right, they're coming up. They're getting woke.
They are. Wait till Wednesday. We're doing a podcast on woke. So please subscribe on your iHeartRadio app. Follow along with the Brewmance, because you will hear us talk about wokeness and how wokeness needs to be woke and up or whatever. So the problem is, you sent this article about 10 things to expect from now that this week, just happened yesterday, grocery stores and convenience stores can start selling 5% ABV. The thing that stood out to me in the list you sent was the taxes that they put on the beer.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy.
Because remember, in the world of government can screw up anything. So in the world of government, they believe if you tax something more, you're not going to do it. That's why a gallon of gas in California costs $4.50 because of the state taxes, because they think we're going to take care of this global warming problem. We're going to get people to drive cars less. Yeah. So we're going to tax the heck out of everything.
In a state that is completely built around vehicles.
Exactly.
So it didn't work very well. So the tax that Utah puts is the highest in the nation, $13.10 on a barrel of beer. That's one barrel of beer, $13.10.
This is a lot of beer, by the way.
That is. Yeah. But the fact that you don't, and this is my problem. So this is where my libertarianness comes in.
Okay.
Because I always looked at this as I was like, okay, sometimes conservatives use government, like you said, Mike, to control behavior. Liberals do it too, as use just evidence. Utah did it so people wouldn't drink beer. Mm-hmm. It's like, come on, guys. People are drinking beer. You're just trying to raise money for your government. I just want to report that here in Arizona, we are near the bottom of the list. We are 36 out of 50. So the 36 lowest taxes. So I think that's fantastic.
But that goes back to what I was talking about when we were discussing San Diego and they're at $1.2 billion annual in economic impact. Here in Arizona, we're just $200 million behind them, which $1 billion is most likely because of things like lower taxation and incentives to build a business here in Arizona.
Yeah, and in fact, it was just a couple of years ago that the governor signed the expansion for craft brewers to be able to brew more beer. I think it was 40,000 barrels per craft brewer, and then you went into a whole different category. Now it's like 200,000 barrels, and I think you can open I think it's 5 locations across the state and still be considered. So you can have 5 actual brew pub locations.
Oh, okay.
Which is something that State 48 Brewing is taking advantage of because they have, I think they're on their 5th location. They're spread out all over. They started in Surprise. There's one downtown. There's one that's opening, I think, in Desert Ridge.
Yes. And going back to, I know, Rob, we don't talk a lot about politics on this show. I'm just saying that when the roadblocks are removed, when the red tape is removed, and you show paths like that, entrepreneurial spirit like State 48 is going to take advantage of that. Now, how many people have jobs? How many people got paid for the construction of the site, the build out, to the tanks, everyone is making money on the deal.
Yeah, exactly right. So the beer of the week this week is from Dark Sky Brewing. It is their Weedy's Rad Idea. It's their pumpkin lactose IPA. So this is a very interesting combination, which is what Dark Sky basically decided their market was going to be. So the first thing we did is the Brewmance. was at Dark Sky Brewing. And we went up there, and they said, our goal is to brew 100 beers, different varieties of beer, in our first year. And because there was room for them to do that, they did.
They did, yeah.
100 beers in their first year. So now I think they're on their fourth or fifth year.
I still have one in my fridge.
Exactly. That's going to be a bad day, but a good day.
Someone reach out to us at cheers@brewmance.beer. I really want you, if you know scientifically what we should expect in that can, please send that to us because I'm afraid to open it.
I know, exactly. We created our own, too, which was, we created the 101st variety of beer from Dark Sky.
It was the Luda.
Exactly. He's Mike Russell. I'm Rob Hunter. We are the Brewmance. You can check us out online at brewmance.beer. That is our website. In fact, this week, we've got a hangover cure coming out for you.
That's
Details to be released very soon, so make sure you stay tuned to our social channels for that. Easiest way, on Instagram, _Brewmance, Facebook.com/The Brewmance as well. Be back in a moment with the attack of the Hard Seltzers. Are they really taking over? It's the Brewmance on the radio. It's KFYI.
Skynet is now Sorority Net. It is the rise of the Seltzers, and it is a real thing. He's Rob Hunter. I'm Mike Russell. This is the Brewmance. This week's beer of the week, before we get to that, the real beer of the week is Weedy's Rad Idea by our pals up at Dark Sky Brewing. And I say our pals, we started this whole Brewmance adventure right there in that very location, but they now have pizza.
They do.
Yes, this
is
is
delicious.
This is a pumpkin milkshake IPA.
And that's what's great about Dark Sky. They do weird, crazy combinations with beer, and the results are pretty interesting. We'll give you a full beer review here in just a couple minutes.
That's right. I have said this for years and years, since the advent of the Roomba. And you know, Rob, I am afraid of Roombas.
Yes.
I will stab a Roomba.
He can walk right up to a rattlesnake. He can stab a rattlesnake in the eyeball, but he runs away from a Roomba.
Do not like a Roomba at all, because I believe that a machine that can vacuum your house and know exactly where it's been already is the beginning of the rise of the machines. This is where Skynet came from.
Going to clean everybody's floors.
And now he's oh my gosh, yes. We're the cleanest
America died. The world died, but everybody's floor was spick and span.
Exactly. But now we have the rise of the official drink of the Instagram boyfriend and sorority girls everywhere, the Hard Seltzers.
You need to back off, son.
Why?
Because these things aren't that bad.
I saw your picture. And I got to tell you, there's pictures I've seen of other members of my family where I've thought, that's just, nope.
Not a good look.
I still love you, buddy.
See, thanks.
Yeah.
That's why we're the Brewmance.
Yeah, champ. Let me tell you something. No, you are drinking not only seltzer. It wasn't a White Claw. No. It wasn't a Truly.
I've tried White Claws. White Claws,
Okay.
Trulies are actually good.
Okay.
And they're owned by a beer company. That's my get out of jail free card. Boston Beer Company, Sam Adams, Dogfish Head, made Truly.
Yeah.
Way ahead of the game.
I'm wearing skinny jeans, but they're Wranglers.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
I don't wear skinny jeans.
Wearing skinny jeans.
I still wear baggy jeans from the 90s, like I'm in a hip-hop video.
I don't care who made it. It's still a hard seltzer, and you shouldn't be drinking that. Anyway, you didn't even go with one of the bigs.
Nope.
You went with a Natty Light seltzer.
Couple of reasons why.
Oh.
I was down in Tucson to see the Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay, all right.
Like you do. So I won't roll into a CVS because Amy, Lady Brewmance, was like, we should get some booze for the room. I was like, yeah, done.
Yeah.
So I said, what's around? So we stayed downtown, roll over to the CVS. Has the worst beer selection I think I've seen in 10 years. They had a couple of craft selections. I was like, I wasn't really feeling them. I'm like, oh, what's this? Oh, Natty Light Seltzer. Let's give it a shot.
And you felt that. Really?
Yep.
That was something you're like, that's a good hotel room beer.
That's a very good hotel room seltzer.
Seltzer, that's right.
And you know what? It wasn't bad. Tastes like juice with booze at 6% ABV.
You had Natter Days and thought that was good, too.
Natter Days.
No.
The park.
But here's the deal. As much as I'm going to fight it, like I fight the rise of the machines with the Alexa and what's the other one, the Google Home and all of that stuff. If I fight it, I will not have them in my home. Actually, my sister moved in. She's having a house built, her house sold. So she moved into our house. She has one.
Oh.
Not coming to my house.
Staying in the garage.
Because I'll just walk right into her room all the time and say, Alexa, send Mike a $50 Amazon gift card. And then when those start to rack up, then she'll know to take it out of my house. Or if she's looking
Bill is
for it,
due.
if she's looking for it, the first place you should look, the bottom of my pool.
That's a good place.
I asked her, very Alexa, in her house, I said, Alexa, tell me about the rise in the machines. Do you know what popped up? A picture of the Terminator robot, and it said Skynet, and it wouldn't leave the picture.
So all John Connor had to do was take Alexa and throw her in the pool, and he would have saved the planet.
Exactly.
Come on, John Connor.
And by the way, if we all stopped buying Roombas, I think it's going to save us for at least, 4 or 5 years.
I have a knockoff Roomba. I don't have the actual Roomba, so they might not be connected.
Oh, okay.
I got Illy.
Well, they have Roombas that have Alexa on them.
Oh, my God.
Because when have you ever thought, man, I just really wish I could talk to my vacuum cleaner and tell them that I need a refill on toilet paper?
Yeah, exactly.
No, never. Not once.
I'm all about it, though. Smart home's the way to go. Except I have no idea how to turn on the lights in my house.
So
how do I turn the lights on?
But I can't do something as basic as turn the lights on.
Lady Brewmance set it all up, and she did it on purpose. So I don't know how to do stuff. All right. You don't know how to turn the light on. No idea. No idea. Well, I had some family in town, and they were coming back before they flew back to Massachusetts. We let them stay at the house because we were out of town, and we had to tell them, this is how you turn the lights on. Say this. And, Amazon, Alexa, good evening. That's how you turn the lights on.
Really?
Yeah, but manually, I'm like, I can't turn this on manually.
You know how I turn the lights on in my house?
That's the original Alexa.
You're darn right.
Yeah.
But Alexa isn't hooked up to the NSA.
Where do you think they got the idea from that? The clapper.
Well, that's fine, but the clapper isn't sitting waiting for its name to be said and a voice command.
Who still has the clapper?
I would have the clapper over this smart home nonsense. The thing is always listening to you and recording just so it can hear its name.
Yeah. Oh,
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever get in a little squirmish with Lady Brewmance?
We debate.
Of course,
yeah,
because
we have
you're
very
married.
good debates.
Yeah,
exactly.
because you're married.
Mm-hmm.
It's listening.
Of course it is.
It's listening.
So what you're basically saying is to go back to our hard seltzer. Hard seltzer is the Roomba of the craft beer world, whereas clapper, craft beer. Turning on the light switch is like Bud Light. So we've evolved.
No. White Claw and these hard seltzers and all that are the Roomba and the future Skynet. We'll call it sorority net.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll call it sorority net of the alcohol world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But to call this part of the craft beer world, absolutely not. Slappy.
But it's cutting into the beer world, and that's why big brewers are concerned. So I wrote a blog this week, and I said, confession time, seltzers are good. Here's the thing. All the big brewers are panicking because of this. So you have White Claws, which are massive, owned by, I think this is a company that owns Mike's Hard Lemonade. Truly's are second.
Okay.
They own like 80% of the seltzer market. So now you have all these people trying to get in on the game. Anheuser-Busch is introducing Bud Light Seltzer early next year. They're going to come out with 5 flavors, same kind of thing, black cherry, lemon lime, so on and so forth. And I think the thing that bothers me most is how it's sold as healthy. Younger people are worried about their waistlines, so they are drinking White Claws. I looked at the calorie comparisons.
Same.
The same as Miller Lite.
Yep.
It's got a couple more carbs in a Miller Lite. I think a Miller Lite has like 3.2 carbs, and a White Claw has 2.
Okay, but I actually went through the list. I started Googling which beer that I drink and what the calorie count is on these things. And by the way, don't get me started on the difference in calorie is not a calorie is not a calorie. It's just a different ballgame. But if you're going to base your diet and your alcohol consumption or even liquid consumption fluid consumption on calorie count alone, you can drink almost any dang craft beer around.
Yeah.
It's not that different.
Because you're talking from 100 to 135 to 150 calories per pint.
Yeah. It's not like we're dealing the difference between a salad and an entire cheesecake. It's just a difference. It's just a difference of probably, I'd say, 30 to 50 calories.
Well, and that's what. But here's what I noticed when I was in the CVS down in Tucson. There was a bunch of U of A kids in the CVS trying to figure out their budget and which beer to buy, and they were debating the Bud Light or the Miller Lite or whatever else they were talking about.
Was intern Sarah part of that?
She was not.
Okay.
I was looking for her. I was like, I don't know.
Good.
I don't know if I want her to see me buying these natty light seltzers. Like, where's intern Sarah? You in here? Sarah! Sarah, you in here? You here? Yeah, she didn't answer, so I was like, okay, I'm clear. I can buy these. But kids at that age are trying to get drunk as cheap as possible, just like we were when we were 21, 19, 18, 17, 16, whatever years old. Then you get a little bit older, you hit 25, you're like, I want a little more bang for my buck.
Yeah.
I want a little higher ABV, a little something a little tastier. And here's the problem. This is what Miller Coors, which is now Molson Coors, by the way, they're changing their name from Molson Coors Brewing to Molson Coors Beverage.
Oh, here we go.
Because they're afraid of this. But they haven't adapted. They haven't changed their recipes at all. Light beers, with the exception of maybe Huss's Arizona Light Lager, they don't taste that good. Seltzers taste better than Miller Lite, Coors Light, and Bud Light.
Okay.
That's what the big brewers didn't count on.
Here's what they are. They're alcohol candy.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Yes. So they
and
are
delicious.
Oh, boy.
It's like getting drunk off Skittles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're Appletinis. Let's go out right now. Let's go to a brewery right now and you order an Appletini. How about we do that? That's the same thing.
Done.
Same thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Get an Appletini.
Someone's going to make I'm sure Dark Sky is going to make an Appletini beer at some point.
I'd try it.
See?
Because it's a beer,
yeah.
Rob.
Well, look, nothing's going to replace craft beer. Craft beer is amazing. I love craft beer. We created the Brewmance around craft beer. So I'm never going to run away from it, but hey, now and again, ain't no fun unless you can drink some claws.
But it's
What? I was going to say ain't no laws if you're drinking claws. And that's part of the thing. The claws have become part of the nomenclature. There's
White Claw Wednesday on
see?
social media.
Exactly.
It hurt my head when I saw that.
Yeah.
About as much as a White Claw hangover would hurt my head. Man, look, and I'm not going to, I give Rob a bunch of heat for this whole thing because he's my Brewman's brother.
Trying new things.
So, but I understand you're trying new things. I'm not going to judge you if you're drinking White Claw. So just you enjoy it and that's fine. Just don't try to get me to drink it. How about that?
Deal.
Good?
I like it. In a moment, we will review Dark Sky's Weedy's Rad Idea, a pumpkin IPA with lactose. What? It's the Brewmance on the radio. Mike Russell, Rob Hunter, 550 KFYI. The Brewmance on the radio isn't just about drinking beer. It's about having open-minded conversations, learning from each other, pushing our boundaries. However, beer is a central component of that as we like to sit down over beers and have these interesting conversations. Mike Russell and I, Rob Hunter, realized that when we go to breweries and hang out, we had interesting conversations. So we thought we'd combine the two, have interesting conversations, and review some beers. While we're at it, we will review our beer of the week here from Dark Sky Brewing, Flagstaff, Arizona, Weedy's Rad IPA. Pumpkin.
Milkshake? Pumpkin milkshake IPA?
Crazy combinations going on here. Crazy combinations. But before we get to that, let's tell you about our weird beer of the week. We feature one of these every week on the Brewmance on the radio. Mike, what do we got today?
We have Virginia Brewery. They are out of D.C., and they, like a good chunk of D.C., aren't very happy with their NFL team. As it is NFL season, which is fantastic, I'm actually upset because last month, October, was so much fun to be a sports fan. Because everything was going on. The MLB playoffs and World Series, the NFL was kicking off. There was preseason NBA basketball going on.
Yeah.
Hockey season started. Everything was happening. Mm-hmm. And now, especially for me, the Cardinals fan. I'm actually wearing a Cardinals shirt right now.
But the good news is the Cardinals actually look pretty decent considering you have a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach and not really a good offensive line.
Our coach looks like he's scared.
He does, but I think he's adapted a little bit.
We hope so. Virginia Brewery's introducing, in honor of their loving Redskins, Sell the Team IPA. Sell the Team IPA. I'm sorry. This is Harper's Ferry. Yeah, this is Harper's Ferry Brewery. In Purcellville will release its Sell the Team Double IPA, which it describes as
the best part.
Bitter and slightly disappointing, like a day at FedEx Field.
That is the best description of a beer that I've ever read, I believe.
Yes. All right. So Harper's Ferry Brewing, good on you for doing that. And it's interesting to see beer because understand this, sports and politics are becoming the same thing these days.
Oh yeah. And
it was funny just along those lines because you and I do fill-in spots as well at different stations and things like that. This is kind of our gig.
Yeah.
And so I had to do a sports show for the first time about a year ago. And when I went from political talk radio to sports. And as I was preparing for the show, I was like, this is all the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. We know the teams, we know the players, we know their backgrounds, we know their MO, we know how they respond to certain things. It's like, well, this is exactly the same thing.
Sure
it's
is.
funny to see it in a craft beer. It's
9.5% on this one, Mike.
Dang. It'll make you forget the loss.
It will. And that's the hope is at some point the Redskins might be a 9-win team again.
Right.
Poor Redskins. Oh.
No, I'm not too worried about that.
You know what the best week of the NFL is, though? When your team's on bye week. So you don't have to worry about it. You have to wake up and be like, oh, who are we playing today? Oh, man, what's the matchup going to be like? You don't have to stay up too late if your team's on at night.
I went 4 seasons without having an NFL team.
Well, you were what, born and raised a Raiders fan?
Born and raised a Raider. Then I realized that Al Davis was the son of Satan, and I thought, well, I'm not going to back this nonsense. And it was the Eli Manning time where Manning was coming out of school, and I said, I'm done.
Yep.
And then I became a Cardinals fan, but for those 4 seasons, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched football for football. I wasn't playing fantasy football. I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't kicking the dog. I was just happy watching football.
My first season not playing fantasy in about 7 or 8 years, best ever. I have to think about who the backup wide receiver on the Cincinnati Bengals is, and if he's on my team, is he going to catch any passes today?
Sure.
Don't care.
And one guy has a 300-yard game, and you're like, he's on the waiver wires. Who's got him right now? I got to go. No.
And then you pick him up because you do clear waiver wires, and he runs for 5 yards the rest of the season.
Yep.
You're like, thanks, cool, awesome. So while we talked about the weird beer of the week, I wish we could try some of these weird beers. But craft beer being what it is, made local communities, I think that's amazing. Just wish there was a way for us to funnel that in and be like, I just want to try it. So talk about it. It's on the radio.
I'm with you on that.
Here's another one.
Give it to me.
This is interesting because I'm not sure if it's too guilt trippy or if it's an awesome thing. Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo Brewing Company has released a dog. A dog.
Wow.
It is. They released a dog.
Run, dog.
Yes.
Run.
Go get my beer and bring it back.
We've released you, dog.
They have. They have featured a group of beer cans. You remember the old Missing Kids milk cartons?
Oh, yeah.
This is what they're doing with dogs. So they've got rescue dogs on the front of the beer cans. For Love of Dog Rescues, partnered with Fargo Brewing to release this.
Okay.
Our one per dogs are dogs that will live their best life in a home by themselves. There's no other pets. So that's the idea. They can't be around other pets. But it's like a guilt trip on the front of the can, man. I can't do this. I'm not emotionally stable enough to be looking at that, man.
That doesn't bother me.
No?
Doesn't bother me at all.
You
know I love my dogs.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. You know I love my boys.
Absolutely.
Django and Boba are my boys. And now Jax is hanging out with us. This is a good time to have 3 dogs. You know the common breed on each of these cans?
Pitbull?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The murder dog. I know, but oh no, it's how you raise them. You ask my buddy his dog was loved on and adored and mauled his 3-year-old.
Oh.
So look, it's an aggressive breed, period. If insurance companies won't insure your house because you have that breed in there, then
There's a reason.
What? There's a reason. Yep. So I'm sorry that those dogs were abandoned. There's probably a reason why they were abandoned, and the fact you should put them on a beer can doesn't impress me at all.
It's the original lager, Fargo Brewing. It's like the Sarah McLachlan commercial for the ASPCA or whatever. It's like I feel like a horrible human being if I don't donate every time I see it, so I change the channel to pretend I don't see it. In the arms of an angel, you're crying in your living room. You're like, I came out at work one day. I had to leave the studio. I'm like, Mike, Broomhead, I'll be back, man. I'm going to go cry for a minute.
I call my dogs in. Boba, Django, come check this noise out.
Look how great you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that steak you had last night? Yeah. Did you see those dogs? They look at those steaks.
Seriously, next time you don't retrieve a bird, you remember this. Because I'll put you in that cage. Mm-hmm. And they do. The ASPCA, they put a dog, they kick the room down to 2 degrees, and they're like, let's take a video of him shivering and being scared. Yeah.
Horrible.
It's like the Sally Struthers thing that she used to do. Remember the feeding the starving kids?
Yes.
And she weighed like 400 pounds?
Yes.
Help me feed a starving kid.
Just give her some of your food. Solve the problem. Your problem and her problem. Let's go.
You are part of the problem.
Yeah, just don't guilt me, man. I just don't want to be guilted anymore. I'm guilted enough in life.
No, and now that we're Veterans Day weekend, there's a couple breweries out there that actually donate to donate to veterans causes. So look them up, and if you want to, you're not guilted into it. You have a pride in supporting that instead of, if you don't buy this can, you hate dogs. Mm-hmm. You don't buy this can, you hate veterans. No, you're like, yes, I like this. Yeah, it's got dog tags on it. I'm in. Let's do it.
Heck yeah. Now, I did have a pit bull experience. I used to have a dog, Emma. She was a Beagle mix, Beagle Walker Hound mix, cutest dog ever.
Okay. Took
her out to the beach one time, living in Florida, and this pit bull comes I was like, not on a leash. I was like, grab my dog. I'm like ready to fight. And the pit bull was all snuggly, like, oh, look, it's a little doggy. And I was like, didn't expect that. So
until it realizes, oh, wait, I'm a pit bull.
Yeah, I'm going to eat that as a snack. We call that a mid-afternoon snack.
You're next, owner.
Your dinner. That's a snack. That's the appetizer. All right, let's review this beer before I get myself in more trouble. Dark Sky Brewing's Weedy's Rad Idea. I'm guessing Weedy came up with this idea. It's like, why don't we take a pumpkin beer, make it an IPA, and put some lactose in it?
And call it a milkshake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Lactose is added for kind of, I think, sweetness, a little bit of color.
A little bit of.
Yeah, that's how you describe it.
Yeah, that's how that.
So what do you think of this beer? Because it combines lots of things.
I was frightened, as I do not eat, desserts, sweets, things like that. When I heard milkshake, I thought, oh, brother, we're going to deal with a milkshake beer. This is going to be like Natter Days, right? It's just going to be sweet. It's going to be candy-like. Don't sing it, Rob.
I almost did.
I know you did. That was preemptive. But it surprised me when I took a sip. It was sweet. It does have that sweet. It doesn't have a ton of pumpkin on it. I'm not grabbing a ton of pumpkin. I'm getting more milkshake than I am pumpkin.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I think this is something that I don't know if I'm going to run up to Dark Sky and say, you have to have Weedy's Rad Idea. I'm not a giant fan, but I'm a fan of their beers. I'm a fan of Dark Sky Brewing's beers.
I like that it's experimental.
Yeah. I like it. You can go ahead and score it first.
All right. Thanks for leaving me out there. Hey, you go. I'll let you walk the plank first.
Because I don't eat sweets, and milkshakes aren't my thing. So I'm getting more milkshake than I'm pumpkin. I'd rather have a pumpkin porter if a pumpkin's going to be in anything. I'd rather have a darker beer with pumpkin. I give it a full point for its IPA-ness. So we're going to go bitter. We're going to go from a 5.5 to a 6.5. Get it, 6.5.
I'm a little bit higher than that because I like that they tried something completely different. This is a beer unlike anything I've ever had before. It smells like pumpkin going down, but it finishes with that sort of hazy, milky, sort of IPA, milkshakey feel. So I kind of dig the combination here, and I love the fact that it's not oppressively pumpkin because I'm not a huge pumpkin guy. So I'm going to hook them up. I'm going to give them a 7.5.
Okay. So right there to 7. That means have it. That means when you show up on the Brewmance Beerometer, you show up, you see it, go ahead and give it a try for yourself and let us know. Get over to our social media pages, Facebook.com/The Brewmance, on Instagram @_Brewmance, and let us know what you think about this. You're up in Flagstaff, check it out. Weedy's Rad Idea. And it's a 7 on the Beerometer. Not solid.
Not bad. Yeah. So 7 to 10, we recommend you go get it. His name is Mike Russell. My name is Rob Hunter. The Brewmance on Instagram @_Brewmance, on Facebook Facebook.com/The Brewmance, and check out the website brewmance.beer, and be looking out for the hangover kit coming out soon. Have a great rest of your Saturday and great rest of the weekend.
Cheers, everybody.